Hello YouTube, it's time for Sunday dinner, and today what I am going to do is make a broccoli cheese and rice kind of deal. I guess it's a casserole, I guess not. I went searching on YouTube for something that didn't involve Velveeta, and I must have been clicking on the wrong links because everything I found had Velveeta. I'm not doing that. I don't feel like going to the store, but that's my regular tune anyway, isn't it? So what we're going to do today is, you see, let me adjust you here. I've got my broccoli steaming in that 1970s steamer, the little metal one that opens up like a flower and is real pretty. Okay, and I've got a hot pan here, and as usual, y'all know me, I'm never prepared, I'm never ready. So I'm just kind of going to wing it as far as my basic recipe is concerned. So I'm going to start off with a whole stick of butter, and I'm going to melt it. And to that, just for a little depth and dimension, I am going to add a little olive oil, brand new olive oil, and I can't get it open. You know, I don't know why I wait until I'm in front of you guys to try to open stuff up. Okay. Alright. And then we're just like a tablespoon. Not a lot. And I am also going to, I'm also kind of going to switch it up a little because I'm not going to use white rice, although I could. I'm not. I'm going to use brown rice boiling back because it's Sunday dinner. It's supposed to be good. It's supposed to be special. We're all supposed to be together and enjoying it, but I am not good at making white rice. My son Thomas, however, let me see, which one is he? Let's see, I've got pictures here. Look. The Incredible Hulk. This one, without makeup. It's this one. But, broccoli's ready. The Incredible Hulk here can make a hell of a pan of white rice, but not good old mom who's been cooking every day, 3-4 meals a day for a jillion gazillion years. So here we have, and I'm going to do something that I'm not even sure I can do, but I am going to saute. I'm going to make a roux, but the thing that I'm going to do I'm going to reduce this heat because that is up to screaming high. There you go. I'm going to do like a medium, a medium low. Before I add my half cup of flour, I'm going to half a red onion, couple of tablespoons, because y'all know I use that pre-cut garlic, and some shallots. I'm just going to saute those. And let's see. Oh, and you know what? Before I overcook this broccoli, I better get it out. So I am going to break away here, and I am going to let the shallots, garlic, and onions saute, and I am going to take my perfectly steamed broccoli and put it in another bowl to cool so that I can chop it up for my casserole. Be right back. Okay, and here's another thing I'm going to do. I'm going to use you remember how I told you last time that when I made the soup, you must drink the water of the soup because that's where all your vitamins and minerals are retained. Well, this is what I'm going to do here. I am going to throw some water in there so that I can go ahead and add even more nutrition to my boiling bag brown rice. So I'm going to slow that cooking process right back down. And shallots, onions, and garlic are sauteing up very nicely. Also remember, you guys, never put your garlic directly into the oil or directly into the butter or directly onto the face of the skillet or pot or whatever you're using, because it will burn the garlic and that will make your garlic bitter and you will have to begin again. So right now I have 3 teenagers and one 11-year-old in my house and a husband with a hollow leg. So I am going to make 4 bags of boiling rice, and I know the water's not boiling, it's just hot, so I'm just going to leave the flame on and let that boil away. And as you can see here, I used, this is the steamer that I used, the 1970s steamer that opens up like a flower. And here is, this is, I believe, I just got the broccoli crowns. So this is like 2 or 3 pounds of broccoli crowns. It may even be 4 pounds. But I've got that off to the side cooling. And these onion, shallots, and garlic are still cooking down for me. So we'll be right back. Okay, and this has cooked down. And the onions are, yeah, that's all cooking down quite nicely. They've softened. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a half a cup of flour. I don't know if that's going to turn out right, so it'll be as big a guess to you as it is to me. And then I am going to, look at that. All right, let me add a little more oil. Let me add some oil to that. A couple of tablespoons. Alrighty. And let me grab my whisk. And you're going to want to cook that down for about a minute. Y'all know how to make a bechamel, a white sauce. And you're going to want to cook it for about a minute just to get that raw cooked taste out of the flour. Alrighty, and I'll be right back. I'm going to go get 5 cups of milk. Okay, and so my roux is nice and bubbly. And it's browned in some places, but I actually honestly think that's going to be okay. Let's see here. And so now I am going to grab my whisk. I'm going to slowly incorporate it. And if you would like, this would be the perfect time to add some bacon and start stirring it in. Okay, that's 4 cups. Make sure there's no lumps, except of course for your shallots, garlic, and onions. But make sure there's no flour lumps in there. Let me get the last cup of milk that I need. And by the way, that was powdered milk. But I made it, my kids made it earlier for cereal. So it was nice and cold. It tastes different when it's cold. We have, as of late, we have as of late decided to use a majority of the month powdered milk. Because with powdered milk, the boys can make as little as a quart, as much as a gallon, or as little as, as much or as little as they need, and there's less waste and less spoilage, and it's just easier. And our rice is just bubbling along here. It's looking good. It just started steaming and bubbling in there. So for the sake of the rice, I am going to put the timer on 10 or 15, you know what, I'm going to put it on 15 minutes. And then when my bechamel starts to thicken, I'll come back and we'll add the cheese. This rice is still heating up, but I am going to add salt. Not too much salt because you're going to add cheese. And then, of course, you should ideally use white pepper, but I'm going to put in some black pepper. And that's to taste. And then it's heating up nicely and evenly from what I can tell, but You just want to whisk it every now and again, just to make sure no lumps are forming. Okay, so now, while this is doing what it needs to do, let's chop some broccoli. Alrighty, and I don't need to disguise my broccoli. My kids love vegetables, but I am just going to cut this. I'm not going to make it too microscopic, but I am going to chop it just for the sake of it being more palatable and easier to eat. And you know, I'm going to add chicken to my casserole, so I'm basically going to cut it to the dice that I want my chicken. And that is perfectly cooked. Perfectly cooked. And what I did to get this so awesome is I put the cold water in, put the steamer basket in, and then put the raw rinsed broccoli crowns in, put the lid on it, and then set the timer for 15 minutes. At that 15-minute mark, I took that broccoli out. You want a vibrant green. You don't want an army green. An army green means that you have overcooked your veg. And the same holds true for your green beans. The only time you want them to be army green is when you can them. And sometimes, depending on the method you use, or if you add lemon juice to your fresh green beans in the mason jar, you add, you know, just a spot of lemon juice. I don't know, it always works for me. And so I know for you guys this is like watching paint dry. So from here on, I am just going to cut the rest of this off camera, and I'll get back to you in a minute. Alright, and we're good and thick here. And we are at this point. I put the rice on, the boiling bag, on for 15 minutes. And right now I am at the 6-minute mark. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to switch from a whisk to a spatula, and I am going to add 16 ounces of sharp cheddar. And it's just store brand cheese. I didn't go and get, you know, anything fancy. Oh my gosh. This one needs to be cut. And here's the other 8 ounces. Mix it in. And at this point, I'm also going to turn off the flame. And a lot of people like to add nutmeg to their bechamel, but I'm not one of those people, so you'll never ever see that in mine. You'll never taste it in mine either. And the cheese is mostly incorporated, so right now what I'm going to do is I'm also going to add my broccoli and get every last bit of it out of that bowl. No waste. Alrighty. And this is not the one I dropped on the floor. This is a clean one off my rack. Okay. Oh, see, this beats Velveeta any day. And you know, I subscribe to the theory that you can eat whatever you want and as much as you want, as long as you make it at home. You want French fries? Make them at home. Because you control what's in it, therefore you can eat all you want. So you can make your French fries fat-free or very, very low fat. Alright, there we go. We have our broccoli cheese sauce. And let me take this rice out in about 4 minutes, and I'll show you how I'm going to poach my chicken. Okay, my rice is ready. I'm going to pull it a couple of minutes early simply because I'm impatient, and I am going to, and this, I am butting my glass bowl up against, I don't know if you, let me try to get it in the shot. I'm butting my glass bowl up against the pot like this because it is a Fire King Anchor Hocking. It is heat proof. So if you don't have a heat proof bowl, don't try this at home. And I'm just going to put the rice in here to cool and drain. And then here we have about an inch of water still boiling and bubbling away. So what I'm going to do here in this broccoli brown rice water is I am going to add 1, 2, 3, 4 chicken breasts to this water. And I'm going to wash my hands right quick because I don't want to touch my seasonings and cross-contaminate. Alrighty. Okay, so into this chicken, I am going to add just a little bit of dehydrated onion. I'm going to add a little bit of freeze-dried parsley. Oh, for crying out loud. Just a little, don't go hysterical overboard, just, you know, there you go. And then also some salt and pepper to taste, of course. And here you can make it Cajun chicken and add some of that Tony Chachere's, or you can give it a Mexican flavor, or, you know, with some taco seasoning. Let's see here. What else do I want to add? I think, I've already added onion. I don't need chives. Okay, so basically, I'm going to let that poach for about 20 minutes. And we'll be back when it's cooked. Also, guys, right about here, you want to take some butter pan or some butter or some olive oil or canola oil or whatever it is you want to use, and you're going to want to grease a 9x13 or a roasting pan or your casserole dish, and preheat your oven to 375. And while I'm waiting for the while I'm waiting for the chicken to poach, I am going to put my 4 bags of cooked brown rice in the prepared casserole dish. And when the chicken's ready, we'll incorporate everything with the moderately cool rice. Okay, and I'm back. The 20-minute timer just went off on my chicken, but I am going to show you a quick cheat. I have been telling my kids that I am going to make chicken noodle soup, right? Okay, so I am going to take out the chicken from the broth. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a quart of chicken stock to this seasoned light broth. No, this isn't chicken stock, this is also chicken broth. And just for now, for tonight, I am going to add a can of Le Sueur baby carrots and 4 stalks of celery. And I'm going to let that simmer for 10 minutes. So tomorrow, all I need to do is add 1 cubed chicken breast, which I can actually throw in the pot right now. But you know what? I'm going to throw in the biggest one. So, just to leach a little more flavor out of that chicken. And I'm going to take the other 3 chicken breasts. Good gravy. Ugh. And I am going to dice them up into a small dice. We'll be right back. All right, and I'm back. So I got all my, almost all my chicken cubed up. And in the course of chopping this, I found a few slices of chicken that were not cooked properly. I had two options. I could throw them into the soup, tomorrow night's dinner that's cooking right now, and or I could just put them in here and make sure that it gets up to 160 degrees, which it will, because not only is my oven preheated to 375, but this is going to bake for 30 to 45 minutes until it's all nice and combined and stuff. So that uncooked chicken will cook, because you cannot eat anywhere near moderately raw chicken. Okay, so let's try to get this all incorporated into that rice. Zeke, can I please get that broccoli covered spoon, or a spoon, period? It looks like I am not going to use, I don't know, I don't think I'm going to use all my bechamel, but we'll see. Maybe I can make it work. I got a casserole dish that was too small. All right then. Oh, haha. I got a bunch of it on the table. Gideon, can you please give me a napkin? A cloth napkin. Don't give me anything paper. Okay. Oh, and yeah, it's, and you just want to combine it evenly, and don't keep spilling it out on the table like I do. Thank you. See, we've made the total conversion in this house from paper to cloth. Because I don't want to be the one sending all of those pretty little trees to the landfill. It's important that trees be here when I'm old, and that trees be here for my grandchildren. I hope to not have any. If I get some, fantastic. But if I end up with 40-year-old children and I'm a 65-year-old grandma with no grandchildren, I'll be very happy. Although, much like Shelby in Steel Magnolias, it has always been my dream to have grandchildren at some point. And just like she said, she hit the nail right on the head. Sit on the back porch just covered in grandchildren saying no and stop that. And it's always been my dream for my grandchildren to come over to my house in a whole bunch of trouble. And I give them cake and pie and, all my homemade yummies, and just spoil them rotten, and then while they're still in trouble, send them back to mom and dad happy. Yeah, that's the way to do it. But with 6 sons, who knows? This modern world. All right. So now what I'm going to do, and that incorporated well. That was the roux to make the bechamel. Was 8 tablespoons of butter with half a cup of flour. And a tablespoon of olive oil. I added half a small red onion, 2 tablespoons of chopped garlic, and about a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of shallots to the roux. And then I realized it just wasn't wet enough, so I turned around and I added 2 more tablespoons of olive oil. And then I just whisked it with my whisk, and that made just enough goodness here. So now what I am going to do is I am going to cover it with cheese and breadcrumbs. Give me just a second. Alrighty. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add, I don't know, maybe a cup of breadcrumbs. These are Progresso Italian or garlic and herb. You can use any breadcrumbs. You could even the reason I didn't use panko was because I don't want to have to toast them. but you very well could if you wanted to. And then I'm going to add half a bag of cheddar cheese, so that would be about another 4 ounces of cheese. And then I am going to mix that thoroughly in a cereal bowl. There you go, until evenly combined. And you know, my cheese sauce, although homemade, still came out yellow. So I'm really happy about that. And then I'm going to put all of this on top of my casserole. And then pop it into my my 375 oven for a minimum of 35 minutes or until heated through, which could be 35 to 45 minutes. We'll see you in 35 to 45 minutes, y'all. Alrighty, and here I have the soup base. Nice and nice and flavorful, and the celery is soft, and that can of carrots is just heated through. Let me taste the broth. Oh, perfectly seasoned. And I cubed the chicken. There we go. Now, tomorrow in a separate, oh wow, that looks so good. Tomorrow in a separate pot, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to cook some egg noodles. Do not just, don't just cook them in the soup. Don't cook them in the soup, because then the noodles tend to get mushy and soggy, and they clump up on each other. That's what I find in my experience. I just don't like the flavor of a noodle that's been cooked in soup. So what I like to do is I like to cook my noodles just before al dente. So cook them for about maybe 5 minutes. Cook your egg noodles for about 5 minutes, and then put them in the soup and turn on the flame. And then in the time that it's heating up and coming up to bubble into perfection, those noodles finish cooking in the soup, but they're like 9/10 cooked already. I'm also tomorrow going to add another quart of chicken broth to this. So basically to this now, all we need to do is add some pre-cooked noodles, a quart of chicken broth, and I made Monday night's dinner on Sunday night just by coincidence. And do not put this hot soup with the lid on it in the refrigerator. That is just a horrible thing to do. What you want to do is you want to wait for the soup to come down to room temperature, and then you're going to want to put it in another vessel, cover it some way, and put it in your fridge. What I like to do is, if I absolutely have to, because I'm exhausted, if I absolutely have to put something away hot, what I would do is put it in another vessel, definitely not the cooking vessel. Put the soup in another bowl, cover it with aluminum foil or saran, and just poke holes in it so that the steam can escape and cold air can get in as well. And then pop it in your fridge to come down slowly, you know, to the temperature of the refrigerator. But there you go.